Does your mind ever feel like a battlefield? Like it's constantly under attack from negativity, anxiety, and the general chaos of the world? You spend your days just reacting, and your inner peace feels like it's being held hostage by headlines, other people's opinions, and your own never-ending worries. But what if you could build a fortress inside your own mind? A quiet, protected space that's immune to all that noise. The ancient Stoics believed this was not only possible but the entire point of living a good life. And lucky for us, they left behind the blueprints. These aren't some complex, dusty theories. They're practical, hands-on exercises you can use to shield your mind and get that inner calm back, starting today. If you're ready to stop being a victim of negativity and start building your own mental fortress, consider subscribing to join us. Our first principle is the very foundation of the whole fortress. It's called the dichotomy of control, and honestly, it's one of the biggest shifts you can make to get rid of most of your daily anxiety. The Stoics taught that everything in life falls into two buckets: things you can control, and things you can't. Think about it. Your thoughts, your reactions, the effort you put in, the person you choose to be, that's all in your command. Everything else, what other people think of you, whether the traffic is bad, the economy, your past, that's all outside of your control. So much of our suffering comes from one simple mistake. We burn ourselves out trying to manage things we have absolutely no power over. We replay conversations in our heads, wishing we'd said something cleverer. We get furious at a coworker, trying to mentally force them to be different. We stress out about a future that hasn't even happened. The exercise here is simple, but it's a game changer. The next time you feel that wave of frustration or worry, just pause and ask yourself one quiet question. Is this really in my control? Worried about a big presentation? You can't control how your boss will react. But you can control how much you prepare. You can control your intention to do your absolute best. If someone says something rude, you can't control their words. But you have 100% control over how you interpret them. You decide whether to let it sink in or to see it for what it is, just noise. This isn't about giving up or not caring. It's about being strategic with your energy. It's like being a smart sailor. You don't waste your time screaming at the wind. You focus all your skill on adjusting the sails. Stop fighting battles you can't win and focus your power where it truly matters, on your own mind. The second principle is all about creating a little space between you and the chaos. The Stoics knew a wild truth: it's not events that upset us, it's our judgment about them. Your mind is the fortress, and your judgments are the gatekeepers. If you let every negative thought just storm right in, the fortress is going to fall. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." He's not talking about denial. He's talking about what we might call cognitive detachment. It's the skill of hitting the pause button between something happening and you reacting to it. That little space, that's where your power is. So here's the exercise. When you face a tough situation, a setback, an argument, a failure, your first reaction is probably going to be emotional. Anger, disappointment, fear. Instead of letting that feeling hijack you, just pause. Notice the emotion without becoming it. Then, ask yourself a question that can change everything. What's the story I'm telling myself about this? So often, we tell ourselves stories of complete disaster. This is a catastrophe, I'm such a failure, this always happens to me. Once you see the story is just that, a story, not a fact, you can start to rewrite it. The Stoics believed that every challenge is an opportunity to practice a virtue. That obstacle isn't there to stop you. It's there to train you. That difficult person isn't there to ruin your day. They're an opportunity to practice patience. A setback isn't proof of your failure. It's a training ground for your resilience. When you reframe things this way, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being a student of them. You start pulling value out of hardship. You turn the poison into medicine. This doesn't change what happened, but it completely changes its power over you. You're no longer just defending the fortress, you're using the stones they throw at you to build the walls even higher. Our third principle tackles the main fuel source for most anxiety, leaving the present moment. Think about it. When does negativity really get a hold of you? It's when you're stewing over a past you can't change or spinning out about a future you can't predict. The past is a ghost and the future is a fantasy. The only place you have any real power is right here, right now. The Stoic writer Seneca pointed out that we often suffer more in our imagination than we ever do in reality. We get crushed by problems that don't even exist yet. The secret to peace is to pull your attention back to the only time that's actually real, the present. The exercise for this is incredibly simple, and you can do it anywhere. It's all about creating little anchor points in your day. For just 30 seconds, deliberately stop what you're doing. Forget the to-do list, the worries, the plans. And just notice. Notice 5 things you can see around you. The grain of the wood on your desk, the color of the sky, the way light is hitting the floor. Notice what you can hear, the low hum of a computer, your own breathing. Notice the feeling of your feet on the ground. This simple act pulls your mind out of the choppy waters of the past and future and anchors it in the calm harbor of now. When you feel that anxiety about something coming up, bring yourself back. You can't do anything in the future. You can only act right now. You can learn from the past and prepare for the future, but you have to live in the present. This simple practice dissolves the mental chaos that negativity feeds on. You secure the fortress by guarding its gates in this very moment. This fourth principle challenges the very way we measure our own success. We're taught to grade ourselves based on externals, our job title, our salary, how many followers we have, whether people like us. The Stoics argued this is a guaranteed recipe for anxiety because it ties your self-worth to things you don't actually control. Instead, they offered a radical alternative. The only true measure of your worth is your character. Your integrity, your courage, your kindness, your discipline. These are the only things that can never be taken away from you. This is your internal scoreboard. When you live and die by the external scoreboard, you're always one step away from a crisis. If you get fired, you feel worthless. If someone criticizes you, you feel small. If you fail at something, you feel like a failure. But when your main goal is simply to be a good person, you become almost untouchable. Here's the practical exercise, a quick evening reflection. Before you go to sleep, take 2 minutes and just play back the day. Ask yourself, was I honest today? Did I face a tough moment with a little courage? Did I treat people with respect, even the difficult ones? Did I do my best to live by my values? Notice the question isn't, did I win? Or, did everybody like me? The question is, did I try to be the person I want to be? When you stop tying your self-worth to things outside of you, criticism just doesn't hit the same way. Rejection becomes a neutral event. Failure is just feedback for your next attempt. If you acted with your best effort and good intentions, you've already won on the only scoreboard that matters. This is the deepest part of the fortress, a place no outside judgment can ever touch, because you realize nothing external can define who you are. Our last principle sounds a bit strange, but it's one of the most powerful tools the Stoics gave us. It's called premeditatio malorum, which basically means the premeditation of challenges. Now, this isn't about being a pessimist. It's a strategic mental warm-up for the reality of life. The Stoics knew that what usually shatters our calm isn't hardship itself, but hardship that catches us by surprise. Shock is the enemy of resilience. By thinking about potential difficulties before they happen, you basically give yourself an emotional vaccine. Marcus Aurelius would start his day by doing this. He'd tell himself, "Today I'm going to meet with interfering, ungrateful, arrogant, and jealous people." He wasn't cursing his day. He was getting ready for it. By expecting to run into a few difficult people, he made sure that when he actually did, it wouldn't throw him off his game. He was prepared. Here's how you can use it. Each morning, just take a minute. Think about your day ahead. What challenges might pop up? A tough conversation. A frustrating commute. A critical email. Picture these things happening. Then, visualize yourself responding not with panic or anger, but with calm, strength, and your best self. When you mentally rehearse adversity, you strip it of its power to shock you. When the tough moment actually shows up, part of you just thinks, "Ah, yes. I was expecting you." The Stoics even took this a step further by calmly thinking about their own mortality. By remembering that life is short, all the smaller, everyday frustrations start to seem pretty trivial. It brings real clarity to what actually matters. This practice isn't about inviting negativity in. It's about training your mind to be so prepared for difficulty that when it arrives, it's met not with fear, but with a quiet, confident strength. These 5 principles, the dichotomy of control, reframing your perception, present moment awareness, virtue as the only good, and negative visualization, aren't just neat ideas. They're a real, working system for building a more resilient and peaceful mind. They are the blueprints for your inner fortress. You don't have to master all of them overnight. Just start with one. The next time you feel a little negative, ask if the cause is in your control. When you hit a setback, ask yourself what it can teach you. Anchor yourself in the present moment for just 30 seconds. You have the power to change your relationship with your own thoughts. You have the ability to build a quiet space inside of you that the noise of the world just can't touch. The work begins today. Which of these principles stood out to you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching.